All right, to finish up our notes, again, every cell has DNA. Know that it's packaged up really tight around proteins, and it's in the nucleus of a eukaryotic cell. Again, you know it's a eukaryotic cell. You know that the chromosome's eukaryotic because it's in the nucleus, and also it's a line. It's linear. It's shaped like a line. It looks like an X. But this DNA is all really tightly packed in here, and it's inside the nucleus. Prokaryotes don't have a nucleus. The DNA is just floating in the cytoplasm. Again, DNA is tightly bound up and it's in a chromosome. And the chromosomes of a prokaryotic cell are very circular. That's how you know the difference. All right, this information that is stored in DNA is used to make all of the cell's proteins. These instructions are sent out of the nucleus only in eukaryotic cells. Prokaryotic cells don't have nucleuses. Please make sure you know the difference. And it is the ribosome of the cell that read these instructions and make all of the cell's proteins. Remember, both prokaryotes and eukaryotes do have ribosomes. They both need to make protein. They better have ribosomes. Okay, so the ribosomes and the DNA is just floating in the cytoplasm of a prokaryotic cell before the nucleus. Eukaryotic cells have a nucleus. It gets kicked out of the nucleus and sent to the ribosomes. While every cell has chromosomes containing DNA, the location of the chromosome is the main difference between pro and eu. No nucleus, it's small, prokaryotic cell. It just has some ribosomes, has some DNA, chromosomes. It has a cell membrane. It has something to help it move with like flagella and cilia. But eukaryotic cells have a nucleus. That's where their chromosomes or DNA is found. But they have a lot more organelles in here too. So it's way bigger, more complex, simple prokaryote, really big eukaryotic. It has a nucleus and membrane-bound organelles all around it. So eukaryotic cells store their DNA inside the nucleus. It controls the cell's function because the cell's instructions are in the form of DNA. Remember, deoxyribonucleic acid. So cell, nucleus, jumbled up in the chromosomes, and the chromosomes are made of packaged up, tightly bound DNA. So if we really want to look here, I love this picture. You're going to learn that a gene is a small section of DNA. You put all your DNA together, you start to tightly bound it up, and it's making up this chromosome. And that's a eukaryotic cell there because it's linear. It's like a line. Prokaryotes have that circular chromosome, like I told you. The eukaryotic is like a line. Prokaryote is circular. They're found in the cytoplasm because, again, no nucleus. They're very simple. DNA is just circular. We call the chromosome circular because it makes a loop. So you can see this loop here. It does not stay in the shape of a perfect circle. So look for the loops, not necessarily a perfect circle, versus the X's and the lines. Eukaryotic cells also contain many other membrane-bound organelles, like the one shown below. Here's the Golgi body, the mitochondria. Hopefully you know that one. That's the powerhouse of the cell. Endoplasmic reticulum. We got the rough here. Those have ribosomes on it, so therefore they make protein, because ribosomes make protein. And then the smooth ER, which make our lipids. And our lysosomes. These are all membrane-bound organelles. What does that mean? That means that they have a membrane around the organelles. They have their own membrane surrounding the outside of the organelle. Prokaryotic cells do not have any of these membrane-bound organelles. The only organelle they have is ribosomes and cell membranes. And ribosomes don't have its own membrane. So no membrane-bound organelles for prokaryotes, no nucleus. Eukaryotic cells are a lot bigger. Membrane-bound organelles definitely are going to fill up a lot of space in there and make them bigger, and they have a nucleus as well. So let's label. So remember, the cell membrane is what controls what goes in and out of the cell. So that's the outer part that's made of that phospholipid bilayer. Here it is in the eukaryotic cell, the big complex cell. And then here it is in the tiny, small, simple prokaryotic cell. It has no nucleus, just has ribosomes, cytoplasm, DNA, and a cell membrane, sometimes a cell wall too. Our cytoplasm is the liquid of the cell. Again, cyto is cell. It's the liquid. It's that aqueous solution that contains all of the organelles. Chromosomes, remember those are the X's, or they're linear. They look like a line in eukaryotic cells, and they're circular in like a circular blob thing in prokaryotes. But remember, they don't have to be a perfect circle. Ribosomes are the tiny dots. They synthesized proteins. Down here, these small organelles, not membrane bound, synthesize new proteins for the cell. You need to know that the word synthesize means to make or to build. They make proteins. Make sure you know what that organelle does. Ribosomes make, synthesize proteins. That's their job. Here's the nucleus. It's the membrane that's surrounding the chromosomes. No nucleus in prokaryote. Too small. Comes before the nucleus. And then our membrane-bound organelles like the Golgi, the endoplasmic reticulum, the mitochondria, if we're looking at plants, that's the chloroplast, the vesicles, the vacuoles, things like that. So this is so much bigger because it has membrane-bound organelles and a nucleus. Prokaryotes don't have either of those things. No membrane-bound organelles, no nucleus. So now it's time for you to get your notes out and finish them up. Please raise your hand if you have questions, and the original PowerPoint is on Google Classroom for you, so you don't have to rewatch this video if you don't want to. Enjoy.